lights are off and away they go.
Extremely loose. He's managed to hold on and they get.
He missed the complete. He's crazy stuff.
Side Freitas is on the grass on the infield floor. He slides through. He tags Richard.
Hello and welcome to Talladega Super Speedway for round 11 of the 2016 iROC HPP Simulation Grand National Series live on the Global Sim Racing channel. Hi, I'm Samuel Ryman and alongside me in the booth is Tanner Sharp. Behind the scenes is our director Joe Peak and our camera sets are provided as always by Dougie Beard. Tanner, the last time we saw these Grand National cars in action, they were at Bristol Motor Speedway. This place, however, is a teeny weeny, itty bitty little tiny bit different from Bristol Motor Speedway, wouldn't you say?
Eeny, teeny, tiny little bit different. Well, it just that's in some people's theories, but in my opinion, it's a whole different. You're transitioning from a short track to a big open super speedway. Talladega Super Speedway is the sister track of Daytona. Talladega's 2.66 miles with 33 degrees of banking in the corners of the racetrack, and it's going to be pack racing. And if you ask me who's going to win this race, I can't tell you, because anybody in the field today can win the race. 59 laps tonight, or 85 minutes. 60% fuel load, so it's about 1 to 2 pit stops approximately. But the big key thing here tonight, Sam, is tire wear. It just seems like the tires start going away after about 20 laps.
And although these cars should still be flat out throughout most of the course, that will definitely affect how easily the cars are able to change lanes, so we'll wait and see how that plays into the race. You see there's 51 seconds left right now. That is off a practice session. They'll be advanced into a 5-minute qualifying, 2-lap qualifying session soon. Each driver will have a track to himself. Talking about the drivers, let's have a look at the point standings. And what is really significant here is that this series has 2 races left until their Pursuit of a Pedals challenge, and you need to be in the top 10 in points to make that chase, essentially. You see the top 5 drivers here: Brody Hayes, Michael Krobach, Robert Barney, Bryce Whitson, Brian Jarzik. We also have Will Warsler, Alan Young, Josh Jones, Gary Whitson and Jonathan Holstein. But those drivers sitting on the tail end of the top 10 in points there, Tanner, they're going to be worried, because Talladega's a bit of a crapshoot, and if they get involved in something tonight, they could be on the outside looking in when we head to Charlotte in 4 weeks' time.
Boy, I tell you, if you're outside looking in, you're entering this race with your heart pumping and feeling nervous, and you got them butterflies in your stomach, man. Whenever I race Talladega and racing for points, I'm nervous because I don't know what's going to happen. Even if I'm taking it easy, the wreck could occur and I could be involved in it. So the guys who are outside looking in, man, they are... I mean, they better... I don't know what their plan is tonight, but it is definitely a head scratcher tonight, and nervous. Oh, it's hard to explain, but man, hopefully everybody's getting the drift of what I'm trying to tell them.
Now, you see the drivers beginning their qualifying session here. However, we're not going to see the competitive lap times for another 2 minutes, because it takes about 50 seconds to roll around this circuit. Right now, we're watching Robert Barney here. He's on his out lap, and then next lap will officially be his first time lap. But in the way, Tanner, it's an additional out lap. You still need an extra lap around here to get your engine revved up, so that on your 3rd lap, your 2nd qualifying time lap, you can ride that for them and give it all you've got.
Yeah, definitely. Technically, your second qualifying lap would usually be faster, but man, usually when I come to Talladega and Daytona, it usually doesn't matter where you're going to start, really. I mean, depending upon where you are. I wouldn't want to start mid-pack. I would try to be 2 places in the back or the front. But man, you can get from the back to the front in just a matter of a couple laps in these B cars.
And meanwhile, while we're watching one car on track here, there's several drivers who have announced that they are not going to qualify. They prefer to stay out of the middle of a pack at the start of a race, stay out of trouble. They are Edward Bray, Alan Young, Lee Staples, Jonathan Holstein, and Tim Knott. And we only had 33 drivers in practice. So, going to be a bit of a smaller field, but I still think we're going to see huge packs of cars out there. Right now, we're watching Mark Myers come around to complete his first lap.
And you touched on Robert Barney, who I believe you just said is not going to run a qualifying lap. Well, that may be some good strategy, because as of right now, he's above the top 10 points. He's third in points right now. He doesn't have a win, but he's finishing the top 10 8 of the 10 races that have been run so far. So, I mean, it might be some strategy going on. You ain't got a lot to lose, it looks like. So, I mean, why not take that kind of a gamble?
Looks like Robert Barney is one of the cars on track, but I can't blame you there, Tanner, because let's be honest here, Robert's usually a driver who likes to start from the back of a field if he can't guarantee himself a place up front. And no one can guarantee themselves a place on the front row here with a fixed setup. He could risk starting in the middle of a field, and that's something we don't usually see Robert Barney do.
No, we don't, but I mean, yet again, you can go from the front to the back in just a matter of a lap. So, and being in the middle, starting in the middle pack, that's just risking yourself on getting involved into the big one. And we all know the big one is commonly known here at Talladega.
Well, you saw Robert Barney provisionally took pole position, but then Bryce Whitson took it from him in the 0-0. Bryce Whitson hasn't been having the seasons that we saw him having in 2015. However, he hasn't been doing too shabby in this Grand National Series. He's sitting 5th in the points, so he should make the chase. Watching Austin Missler come across the line in the number 11 there and goes 4th. Behind Aaron Kleinhans was a provisional pole sitter, now Brian Jarzik takes it. So Brian Jarzik, Aaron Kleinhans, Bryce Whitson, Robert Barney and Austin Missler currently the top 5. But it is changing every second.
It's definitely changing every second, but the driver I want to keep an eye on tonight is a driver that's outside looking into the points, and that's Travis McQuestion. He's sitting in 11th in points right now. He was on top of the leaderboards in qualifying here, but he has dipped back to 15th place, 16th place as it's continued to update here. And man, he's starting in the middle of the field, so I'm wondering, how he's going to play his strategy tonight.
Yeah, and bad news for Travis McQuestion is all top 10 cars in the points are here tonight. Now, we saw the driver who pushed Travis back from 15th to 16th. That is birthday boy Ty Hester in the number 68 machine, just went up to 10th place on the grid.
Happy birthday to Ty Hester. Ty Hester is currently looking to put a full race together. He's had a lot of crazy incidents that has happened to him this season, and Talladega is usually a place where a lot can happen, but a lot can happen to where you don't get involved in an incident too. So as of right now, he's in the top 10, starting in the top 10 tonight. That's 10th place, and I'm sure Ty is looking forward to keep that car out front for most of the race.
2 of our top 10 drivers in the points selected not to qualify. Gary Whitson and Alan Young. They'll be starting 26th and 27th, and in fact qualifying has just finished. So let's read out the full grid here for you. And it begins with our True Power Pole Award pole sitter Brian Jarzik, 5 thousandths of a second ahead of Aaron Kleinhans. Bryce Whitson and Robert Barney are on the second row. Well, Robert Barney took a gamble. It paid off. He's there on the second row. Austin Missler and Josh Jones behind them. Then Michael Krobach and Norm Pelletier. Rounding out the top 10 are Milt Matisse and Ty Hester.
Outside the top 10, you have the number 10 of Chris Ginn, who's sitting in the 11th position, starting 11th tonight. Ted Emmenheiser will start 12th. Will Worsler will start 13th tonight. Jamie Moore 14th. Josh Tanner will start 15th. Travis McQuestion, who I just recently talked about, will start 16th. Louis Robinette will start 17th. 18th is Troy Haight. 19th is Todd Kirkwood. And 20th, Mark Myers.
And all the drivers on the outside actually will get to move up a spot because Norm Pelletier starting 8th has been given an end of longest line penalty. But let's go back to the drivers at the tail end of qualifying here. We've got Alex Bates 21st, Michael Koenig 22nd, followed by Jeffrey Belt and Brody Hayes. Two big names back there along with the drivers behind them. Nick Cohan, Gary Whitson, Alan Young. Now we're getting to the drivers who haven't qualified. Jeff, who didn't put on the qualifying time, rather, they qualified for the race. Jeffrey Gilliam, Stephen Wetton, Jonathan Holstein, Lee Staples, Edward Bray, and Tim Knott.
Well, now they are rolling off here on the starting grid here, Brian, as the pace laps begin. Or not Brian, excuse me, I got Brian on my mind since he's on the pole tonight. Brian's going to lead him on the field tonight, and Sam, what do you think? Do you think you get some butterflies in your stomach every time you come to Talladega?
Oh, absolutely. But the good news for these drivers is it always begins relatively calm because the cars aren't up to speed when the flag goes green. They've got the whole lap to get themselves sorted. And so what I usually like to do, Tanner, is I usually like to start on the bottom because then I know, and you see one car doing it right now as they go down the back stretch, if on lap 1 I don't feel comfortable with the way the pack is coming together, I can drop back on the apron. If you're starting on the outside, though, your options are a bit more limited.
Yeah, definitely. A driver to watch tonight is Bryce Whitson. He's starting 3rd tonight. Bryce Whitson Jr. Kudos to him for starting up there in the top 3. But yeah, I completely agree with you there, Sam. Is if I usually wherever I'm starting, I usually see how, like if I'm starting in the back, I usually see how the first 10 cars ahead of me are racing. If they're going 3 wide and racing aggressively early on, I would just lay back, see it all fanned out. But if I'm starting up towards the front, I usually look around me, see how everybody's doing and all that, not push the issue, and then maybe push the issue here and there. But yet again, it is early in a race.
Ford Mustang pace car getting ready to make the hard left turn down pit road. Brian Jarzik has control of the field. He is leading them through the tri-oval here. Remember, the start-finish line is after the tri-oval at this 2.66 mile Talladega Super Speedway. Green flag goes out in the air. Brian Jarzik is on the loud pedal. The pack is with him. We are racing for 59 laps here at Talladega Super Speedway.
Side by side as these drivers go down into turn number 1. Nobody breaking away. Brian Jarzik on the bottom side of the racetrack getting a push from the number 16 of Robert Barney, who moves into the 2nd position, and the 00 who's going to move up to the 3rd position here. That is Bryce Whitson.
Nice move by Robert Barney to go downstairs after starting up on that high side.
Yeah, definitely, as now they are starting to race 3 wide up in the pack here. As you can see in the middle of the pack, some guys are just backing off, taking it easy, as you have 2 black cars I'm seeing according to my screen here. Don't see if my trading paints is loading, but I see 2 cars trying to work outside at that high side, trying to get a run, not working. And we got a caution, wrecking the backfield.
Tim Knott is in it in the number 41 and Jeffrey Gilliam in the number 61 machines. Jeffrey Gilliam just going through the grass. Tim Knott is down on pit road. There's another car spun there. Stephen Wetton has heavy front end damage. I think he got the worst of it.
Yeah, they were 3 wide back here. That was Tim Knott on the high outside lane. Looks like the number 94 drifted up the racetrack. That's Stephen Witten drifting up the racetrack just a little bit, and they both go to the outside wall, and that brings out our first caution of today's race.
Always a miracle when you have a wreck at Talladega and it involves less than 5 cars. This one just involved 3. And like we say, Wetton got the worst part of it, but it looks like his damage should be repairable, but I don't think it's a car that will be leading any other cars around tonight.
No, I don't. And aerodynamics here at Talladega means everything. So I mean, you got that long back straight around Talladega, so it's going to hurt your speed unless he could probably stay in the draft. But the way that's looking on his car, it's not looking too good to stay in the draft.
The other thing not looking too good, obviously, is the fact that we've had a caution on the first lap of a race. We mentioned this could be a timed race with 85 minutes, and even though there's only 59 laps, it's a long lap around here. Meanwhile, a lot of leaders electing to come down pit road. Bryce Whitson, Austin Missler, Michael Krobach, Louis Robinette, Mark Myers, Brody Hayes, Nick Cohan, Alex Bates, Alan Young, Lee Staples, Jonathan Holstein, Edward Gray, Gary Whitson, Jeffrey Gilliam, and Steve Wetton all come down pit road under this first caution.
I think this is a good idea here, Sam, because let's just say if we would have stayed green for the next 25 laps or 30 laps or so, these tires here at Talladega, they do wear out a lot quick. I mean, many won't think that tires wear at Talladega here, but in that iRacing update about a year ago-ish, they increased the tire wear, and these cars can get tight once the tires wear, and they can get tight coming off the corners and drift up the racetrack. So right now it's probably a good idea to take 4 tires, but Bryce Whitson staying in his pit box for longer than usual. Not sure if he had repaired damage or just decided to stay down pit road to let everybody by so he can lay in the weeds in the back of the pack for a while.
Yeah, you see Gary Whitson was slow getting out of pit road there too. Some of you eagle-eyed viewers may have noticed there was one driver who overshot his pit stall by about half a mile. That was Louis Robinette in the number 30 machine. He was able to get it backed up, no damage, and he'll just have to restart from the back of the field.
Yeah, definitely, but since there's no damage on that car, I mean, might as well just hang out in the back. I mean, Bryce Whitson's back here right now. He's back last time by 26th position, so, I mean, it's a good strategy to lay in the weeds until it's go time. But if I was running for the championship, and like I said, if I was outside looking in, get a bonus point early and then just take it easy.
Now, the great thing about Talladega's cautions, a lot of people don't like them because it's a long lap around, but that's great for the pit crews and the drivers who have damage. They can sit in pit road for about 2-3 minutes getting repairs and not lose a lap. And heck, you can take about 6 minutes of repairs, fall a lap down, and there's half a chance you'll get a lucky dog or a wave around later in the race. Meanwhile, it looks like they're getting double file here behind the pace car, but the lights stay on for another lap, so we'll take a quick break in a moment. One thing I do want to mention right before the break, Tanner. Cool air temperature, 74 degrees, and that's going to be an advantage for these drivers when it comes to drafting each other.
Yeah, definitely. It's a lot cooler. I mean, it's overcast. It's cool outside. The track temperature is cool. So, I mean, maybe the whole tire wear that I was just talking about, maybe that won't play in such of a big factor as I thought it would. But we'll have to see once we go back green. Maybe we can get a long green flag run to really identify or to really document that.
And we have seen overheated engines lead to the big one before. Hopefully that shouldn't be an issue tonight, although we'll see how much drafting goes on late in the race. We've got 2 laps to go to green. We're 1.5 laps now, but even then that'll take a couple of minutes. So we're going to take a quick break and we will be back here for the restart on the Global Sim Racing channel. Hello and welcome back to Talladega Super Speedway. Had a few extra cars down pit road last time around to top off fuel at the back of a field and also get some newer tyres. Tanner was talking about how they could be crucial. However, one thing you're going to want to keep off of your tyres is grass, and Milt Matisse was over in the grass doing some lawn mowing under this caution. We're not really sure why, but he has rejoined the circuit. And also we're keeping an eye on Jamie Moore restarting 5th. His connection looks a little in and out, and his car's been disappearing and reappearing a little bit, and that could definitely pose an issue on the high banks of Talladega. But let's get back up front where Brian Jarzik is about to lead the field back to green.
Here they go as these drivers are waiting for the green flag to come out. The green flag is now out, and Brian Jarzik gets on the pedal, getting a push from Aaron Kleinhans. As Robert Barney on the high side trying to get a push from Jamie Moore on the high side. Everybody's single, or not single file, but double file. Oh, we got a wreck! Somebody clipped somebody there. Oh, they're wrecking all release. This is going to be a huge wreck. Oh, I seen it at the corner of my eye right there.
Troy Haight was the driver who went spinning up and around in the air. And the fortunate thing was he was so high up in the air that I think a lot of drivers who would have hit him were able to miss him. That being said, we do have a few other cars torn up.
According to the lookalike on the replay here, the Jeffrey Bell was trying to get underneath Troy Hay. When he did that, his car looked like it just jerked to the right just a little bit, clipped the left rear quarter panel of Troy Hay, and that's what started the big calamity. Holy cow! Wow. Number 67, Jeffrey Belt. Oh boy.
Yeah, that was Belt who turned him up into the wall. Was still trying to figure out how many other cars hit Haight when he was sliding back down. That was about 3 or 4 other cars, one in the grass there, a late hit.
Boy, I tell you, it's not the first time I've ever seen a car flipping, flying through the air at Talladega. Anybody remember Carl Edwards in 2009 and Brad Keselowski? Holy cow, this one's in the middle of the corner and he just went flying in the air. Holy cow.
And this is a disadvantage, Tanner, to being at the back of the field. All those drivers, as we watch Lee Staples on board here. Oh, he was one of the lucky ones. All these drivers who were pit under that first caution, well, they had that wreck going on in front of them on that restart, and I think a couple of them may have got damaged.
That's very unfortunate, and these cars are they're hard to get wore down because when you're trying to get on the brakes, the car is actually sliding, and you don't want to get on the brakes too hard, otherwise you're going to spin out. So it's really tough to get these cars wore down, but yet again, these cars were trying to get up to speed. So, I mean, I would assume they would be able to slow down a lot quicker than usual.
And here you see Mark Myers is one of the drivers who got hard into Troy Haight there, and a couple other drivers. The other one who had a hard hit was Alex Bates. Mark Myers and Alex Bates are currently on pit road with smoke coming out of their machines, so they are in for a long night, unfortunately.
Back on that topic where under caution, it might get boring just pacing around here, but that's an advantage for the pit crews to get the cars repaired. There's a driver in here who just says he's just yawning, and it is stressful as a driver. I mean, you get these 2 cautions early in a race, and we're not even 10 laps in. As a driver, and you're leading up front, it does get a little frustrating, but. Hopefully these guys can get back to green flag racing and we can see them turn some more laps, because I'm interested to see how the strategy is going to play on fuel is going to work.
One of the drivers who has a little bit of damage because he pitted under the first caution for new tyres and fuel is Michael Krobach, currently sitting second in the points. He has a bit of damage to his rear spoiler on the left-hand side there. You'll probably get a view once he passes the camera here. It's just bent back just a tiny little bit. Hopefully not enough that will affect his top end speed. He should still be in for an okay race.
Yeah, he looks okay. I mean, in my opinion, I think he can stick with the pack. I was racing earlier today, earlier this evening with Michael Krobach in the iRacing official race in the B cars, and he was trying some aggressive moves, just trying to learn the draft. I was watching him, and boy, if he's up front at the end of the race, look out.
Yeah, now the field is getting double file again, but they could still be a couple of laps from green. Actually, pace car is coming through the tri-oval here, so we'll find out for sure. Brian Yazik, Robert Barney, Aaron Kleinhans and Josh Jones continue to lead the field up front. Haven't mentioned Josh Jones a lot tonight. He started 6th, he's worked his way up to 4th. We're definitely going to keep an eye on him because he's one of the drivers who needs a good night, Tanner. He's sitting 8th in the points and the lights do go off on the pace car. So if Jones were to be involved in anything, he could be on the outside looking in, heading into Charlotte.
Yeah, definitely. I'm going to give a shout out to not 1, not 2, but 3 drivers so far here tonight, Sam. And that's first off, it's going to be Lee Staples. Started 31st, currently 11th. Jonathan Holstein started 30th, currently 12th. And Edward Bray started 32nd, currently 13th. So these guys are moving up really quick, and we're not even at the 10-lap mark yet.
I would be the party pooper here, Tanner, and say, well, they've been able to do that because a lot of the drivers have been coming down pit road, but they've actually earned those positions as well. Those 3 drivers, and we saw with Lee Staples on board, all had to navigate their way successfully through that big wreck that just took place.
Yeah, they did, and if you were looking in the back of the pack earlier, they were trying to make some moves just a little early because some cars were just spreading out, just trying to take it easy, and those guys were just kind of making some passes, forming their own little group. But yeah, they had to dodge some wrecks tonight, and they're up there just outside the top 10, so there's some driving going on between those boys.
And there's going to be a lot more driving going on as they come to complete lap 9 here. We're already working our second caution of the race. Haven't actually made it back around to the start-finish line here yet, but like we said, these drivers were all at Bristol a couple of weeks ago. So now they're at the Super Speedway. Just need to get that mentality of being on the big track out here again. And we still have plenty of cars left to put on a good race. And Brian Yazik is about to lead them back to the green.
Here they go down that tricky tri-oval here at Talladega. Brian Yazik, Robert Barney, Aaron Kleinhans, green flag. We are back racing. What a jump Brian Yazik gets. I'm telling you, you do not want to get too far out because they will run you down, but it looks like he's okay. It looks like he's checking up just a little bit as Robert Barney's now into the 2nd position, and I think that's a former partnership right there, Sam, between Brian Yazik and Robert Barney.
Yeah, every time we've seen Robert Barney have the opportunity to go downstairs, he's taken it. And maybe he just likes the bottom line, or maybe he is working with Brian Yazik. We'll have to wait and see how it plays out tonight. Aaron Kleinhans, Ty Hester behind them, and Jamie Moore. We have one drive out of line, Josh Jones, restarted in 4th place. He cannot get in that single file train, and he is being freak trained right now. Back
until you find a place in line. That's the tricky part about Talladega is when you're stuck on the outside lane and you ain't got no one to go with you. It's like a sucker hole. You're gonna get sucked right back until there's a place in line.
Same thing happening to a couple other cars throughout the pack. It looks like they've all gotten single file, and honestly, who can blame them, Tanner, after the 2 poor starts we've seen to this race, but now they finally completed the lap under green. Brian Yazik leading Robert Barney around on lap 11, and they're all single file right now, although that could change. Here comes Ted Emenheiser.
Ted's like, come on, somebody go with me, man. I can get up there and challenge for the lead, but number 6 car, that's Will Worsler, thought about it. I don't think it's going to happen. So if he does not get back to the inside lane as quickly as possible, looks like I don't think Will's going to let him in. He should be able to get back in. No, he's not going to get back in. He's going to drop all the way back until he finds a safe place in the line. So not a good move on Ted Emenheiser there.
There's an old comedy song in England that says goodbye. That's pretty much what it says, and that's what we're saying to Ted Emenheiser right now.
Yeah, right now he's like, dang, nobody went with me, and it looks like nobody still ain't gonna go with Ted, and Ted is still dropping back. Like I said, back, until you find a place in line.
Alright, so, whoa, they're getting out of shape there.
Easy, boys, easy. Yeah, easy there too, Robert Barney. Don't clip that right rear quarter panel. You don't want to turn the race leader. that was a little scary moment from what I'm watching, but now they're getting double filed up in the back here, trying to get that outside lane going. A couple guys want to get it going, but Ted is still trying to find a place onto the inside.
Well, the problem is, if those guys begin running double file and the leaders stay single file, the leaders could run away from them. But I want to keep an eye on Robert Barney now here, Tanner, because he's going to start to struggle with engine temperatures if he follows Brian too much, and that's why you see every driver around 5th, 6th place there is sticking their nose up to try and get that clean air into their radiator.
Yeah, definitely, Sam, and that's a struggle part about pack racing here at Talladega, is if Robert Barney is overheating, he's going to have to let the car behind him know, say, hey, man, I'm overheating, I got to back off the back bumper here just a little bit, and that checks up the inside lane. That's pretty much how the checkups start, unless they're trying to do a 3-car tandem, which you technically can't do, but, yeah, a little communication would work. That gives the drivers a little leeway, but that's definitely a problem if you don't want to keep pushing, because if you keep pushing, it's gonna, your red meter up there is gonna blink too. The water temperature, oil temperature, all that's good stuff.
See about 5 cars upstairs there right now. And another reason, there's 2 reasons why you'd want to go upstairs, Tanner. One is to make moves and get to the front, and the other is sometimes people do find that their cars are overheating and think, hey, I'll go upstairs and drop to the back of this pack, let my engine cool off a little bit.
Whoa, Lee Staples, that's going to put the number 20, bad mistake, little bit late call on that. That's Jamie Moore caught in the middle, the sucker hole. Nobody's going to go with Jamie. Looks like the outside lane's trying to form up so they don't hit each other. Jamie Moore's just desperate to get back in line, and I believe he does. That was a close call.
Yeah, Jamie was lucky there that the cars behind him lost a bit of momentum being led by Lee Staples, but now we really have an outside line going on being led by Ty Hester, and they're working their way up to 4th, 3rd position right now. Ty Hester is challenging Robert Barney for 2nd.
Yeah, and it won't be long. If he can get a nice run on exit, make it wide. Don't do side drafting on exit. Just make it wide. You can challenge for the lead. I was watching some races last night, and they were making it wide. The outside lane was going out by the outside wall there. They can get a huge run.
Jamie Moore got a bit close to having clean hands there. It looked like
Out for the lead.
This lap. Yeah, Hester's coming up.
Yo, that was close. What a photo finish that would be.
Yeah, well,
Yazik
had his nose out in front, but only by 12 thousandths of a second.
Definitely, but he ain't done. There's a lot of side drafting going on here. They're trying to pinch that inside lane down. They still are on exit. Ooh, a lot of guys are bouncing everywhere a little bit here, but they're keeping their own right now. Ty Hester trying to get the lead away from Brian Yazik. If he can clear that inside row, he could probably dip on down. That might be a good move, but yet again, you don't want to leave your drafting partner.
Yeah, no, these guys probably don't. If I was one of these leaders right now, honestly, I'd be getting upstairs and letting them go by me, because there's a lot of world racing going on up front here. Hopefully it doesn't end in disaster. These drivers keeping it all in shape right now. They were practicing like this for 90 minutes ahead of the race. And Barney got a run on Yazik there. Hester coming up the stairs again.
Oh, whoa, they were slicing and dicing just a little bit, moving back and forth. But the driver to give a shout-out to that could be a potential threat to win this race is Travis McQuestion. He's a 3rd car on the inside row in that number 93. He's just sitting in line right now, not pushing anything. There's really not much he can do since you're just in the middle of the pack like that. Looks like Ty Hester might clear the race leader here. Maybe not.
Yeah, he almost had it. Almost doesn't always count. But yeah, we're going to be keeping an eye on Travis McQuestion all night long because of him being 11th in the points. Oh, yeah, Tim Knott is off course.
Jamie Moore! Oh no! Easy, boys. That was a tight squeeze. Jamie Moore just blinked on my screen for a second there, but yeah, he dropped to the inside lane. That caused a big checkup, and they all held their own. That's really good racing right here. But that was a scary moment also.
Yeah, and you see Tim Knott, who was just spinning in the turn 1 and 2 grass on the apron down there. Yeah, Jamie Moore's been blinking in and out throughout this race, and that's going to start to cause some issues if they keep racing like this.
There's another car that was blinking out. I'm trying to make out who that car number was. He has red tires and a red number. I think that's the 24. Alan Young, yeah, he was blinking for a little while, but he looks like he's stabilized at the moment. But right now we have another battle for the lead. Again, Ty Hester challenging once again. And I believe, is that Travis McQueen? No, that's not Travis McQueen. That's Aaron Kleinhans pushing him. And Ty Hester will officially lead a lap at Talladega.
Yeah, meanwhile, we're watching this incident that happened between Chris Ginn and Tim Knott, and I don't know how that didn't bring out a caution.
I'm not entirely sure, but these guys are... Yeah, it did not bring out a caution. These guys are holding their own. I mean, a couple close calls, yes, but they're holding their own right now, and that's produced some incredible racing and driving.
And Ty Hester doesn't have a lot of help on the outside this time, and that's going to help Brian Jarzik pull out in front. The car behind Hester is Aaron Kleinhans, but then after that, there's like a 10 car lengths back, all the way back to Lee Staples, a couple cars pitting.
Oh yeah, a little short pit strategy maybe here. I'm not sure if the pit window is open right now. I believe it would be. It's about 1 to 2 pit stops in a 60% fuel load. But before those cars pitted, from 1st to 19th was just a second and a half from each other, and the rest of the field was about 10 to 11 seconds back.
That's Will Warsland, Josh Jones, you just saw coming into the pits. Meanwhile, the pack goes 3 wide on the back straight. Aaron Kleinhans was thinking about it.
Yeah, you could think, but will it work? That's just the thing. And right now, Ty Hester, he's still trying to use that outside lane. I still say if Ty can get that inside clear, go down below, you hate to really dump anybody, but usually... Oh, we got more cars pitting. Brian Jarzik pitting along with Robert Barney.
Yeah, a lot of leaders coming into the pits. Jamie Moore as well. Stephen Wetton is up there. Josh Kanner and Ted Emmenheiser, the driver we saw dropping back earlier.
Since it's under green flag pit stops, ladies and gentlemen, you do not want to overshoot your pit box or speed down pit road or have any kind of mistake on pit road. They are just costly mistakes at Talladega, and you just do not want them whatsoever. Looks like they're just stops and goes to get some fuel and get back on the track here, Brian, or Sam. I don't know why I'm thinking of Brian. I was with Brian last night talking to him for a while, and he was leading this race, so I got Brian on my mind tonight.
I was making a note that Ty Hester and Aaron Kleinhans have been working together tonight, and then all of a sudden Aaron Kleinhans just went upstairs and is now dropping back through the field, and we have a new driver in second place, Travis McQuiston.
Try to win a race too, because he's sitting in 11th in points, outside looking in. He needs a real good finish to try to get into the chase.
So Ty Hester leads Travis McQuiston, Jeffrey Bell, Alan Young and Aaron Kleinhans, a couple of drivers we haven't seen up there tonight, but that's because we just had a lot of cars in the pits. And don't understand why Aaron Kleinhans isn't dropping back in. He's trying to make that high side work all on his own.
Yeah, I don't know. There's nobody to draft him. He's got a strong car, and I'm surprised. He's using a little side draft, too, in the corners, just trying to stick with these guys ahead. But right now, it looks like he's going to fall back here. He's side-by-side with Alan Young. Milt Matisse in the 42, dropping back. He's going a lap down. I believe he already pitted. But here, these are the lead cars, passing cars who just pitted not too long ago.
Yeah, a couple cars off the pace from earlier incidents, too. So Ty Hester continues to lead, and I'll tell you what, I don't know what Aaron Kleinhans is doing, but it's really working for him, because he's actually worked his way up from 5th to 3rd, and is challenging for 2nd without any drafting help.
I'm really surprised he's able to hang up there right now. He's getting a little help from Alan Young. That's a little drafting assistance, but if you use enough side draft, you can slow down that inside road, but it is very difficult without having anybody pushing you.
Well, it'll be interesting to see if Kleinhans uses this strategy late in the race, and obviously this is a bit of confirmation that the drivers we saw pitting early were either short pitting, or of course these could be drivers who pitted early on in the race, so they have a few extra laps of fuel, who are currently staying out as they work lap 24 right now.
I got some eyes right here, Sam, that here's another pack that's about 12 seconds back from the race leaders, and that's Michael Krobach, Austin Missler, Bryce Whitson, Jeffrey Gilliam, Gary Whitson, Michael Koenig. They are all in this draft here, and Todd Kirkwood, you could throw him in there as well, but he needs the little draft to catch up to that tail ender, otherwise he might lose it. But otherwise, it is pretty much a 6-car pack right here, just run single file. If they stay single file, they can gain some speed.
Yes, and that's exactly what they're doing, and these are big names. They just have been at the back of the field today. And really, we saw him sliding through the grass earlier, right in the middle of his pack here, Jeffrey Gilliam. we need to keep an eye on him too, because he's a driver 12th in points, just sitting outside of a chase cutoff.
Yeah, he's been moving up some positions and dodging some wrecks as well. He started back in the 28th position. But meanwhile, Sam, it looks like that big leaders with Brian Yazik and them guys, it looks like those guys just spread out. I'm not sure if some guys took tires or just fuel only, but you have Brian Yazik doing the two-car tandem with Robert Barney here. And then 2 seconds back is Will Worsler and Josh Jones and Josh Tanner.
Yeah, well, let's not forget that Brian Yazik and Robert Barney were the top two leading the field around for the early part of this race, so I think we're seeing those two are probably going to be working together for the rest of the race, and it's going to be interesting to keep an eye on these partnerships, because I'm sure it'll come down to a couple of tandems late in the race as to determine who's going to win this race here at Talladega today.
Aaron Kleinhatz is still trying to get side by side with Jeffrey Belt and Alan Young, and he has stayed there without any help. That's some crazy stuff right there, unless the inside row is checking up. That's allowing them to gain that momentum, but so far he is really strong. I wouldn't know why these guys would be racing right here, but who knows? They feel like in a racing mood, and I'm sure they're going to pit right here. They're pitting right here. Ty Hester, Jeffrey Belt, Aaron Kleinhatz. That's going to hand over the lead to Alan Young in the 24.
Jeffrey Belt, Travis McQueestron is also down the pits with them. They're actually 3 wide right now. That ain't going to work for them all getting to their pit. Still, there they go. They get it sorted out. So, where are these guys going to reform on track with relation to the leaders that pit earlier?
It should, but I know Brian Yazik and Jeffrey Belt, those guys took fuel only. Ty Hester looks like he's going to take 2 tires and he's away.
Here they come out of the pits. Ty Hester in the number 68 machine. And here's the pack coming up. They're far behind him, but they have a lot more speed.
Yeah, they have much more speed, but hopefully Ty can blend in with the guys who just pitted to get some drafting help from Jeffrey Belt and the number 83, or 93. That's Travis McQueestron right there. So they can form their own little group and try to stay single file. Maybe if they get up to speed quick enough, they can blend in with Brian Yazik and Robert Barney and these group of guys right here.
And here you see the full speed pack going upstairs, and now they'll try and catch their draft, and that's happening as the pack in front of them goes back downstairs. They're a little ways back, but there's 3 of them together. I think I'll be able to work their way back up there.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think those 3 cars, if they can stay single file, they can catch the cars ahead of them. It's just a matter of these guys not battling it out ahead. So, but we'll see how this all plays out. It's interesting strategy. As you can see on the apron there, cars like Lee Staples, they're on the apron of the racetrack. They're just coming out of pit road. Alan Young.
Yeah, Alan Young and Lee Staples. Like I say, that pack coming out of pit road right now looks like they lost a little bit of time to this pack.
They have. I wonder if they took 4 tires, because I know Brian Yazik and let's see here, Robert Barney. I know those 2 drivers took fuel only. They must be in it together, because every time I look at those 2 drivers, they're doing the same exact thing. So I think those 2 are working together, trying to stay up front or trying to stick to their strategy to be up front towards the end. But sometimes these fuel strategies, man, they just make your head spin.
Well, the 2 leaders right now are running first and second, and they obviously are Brody Hayes and Nick Cohan, but they're actually in a bit of a pack, but the 3 cars behind them are all a lap down. They've all pitted. The 3rd place car, Michael Krobach, is actually a quarter of a lap behind those 2.
Michael Krobach's got a big group of guys. Some of them are lapped down, but right now he has 2 cars that are right behind him, 4th position, and that is Austin Missler and Bryce Whitson. Those guys I know for sure pitted earlier on, and if this run keeps on going, those guys may be pitting soon again.
What happened to Aaron Kleinhatz? I'm not sure if he was on a different tire strategy, but he just got passed by the 2 leaders, Brody Hayes and Nick Cohan, and went a lap down. And the cars he have been running with before the caution are about a quarter of a lap ahead of him, I would say.
I am not sure. I wonder if he pitted. I don't recall him pitting with the leaders earlier, because he was on that outside lane by himself the majority of that time. So I'm just curious what happened to Aaron there. Sounds like he had, from what I'm getting a report on here, Sam, is he had a long pit, 15 seconds.
So he could have taken 4 tyres and not got the memo that no one else was, or he could have overshot his pit stall.
Wow, I'm telling you, he's got a strong car. He's making that outside lane work by himself, man, and he ain't afraid to do it. Holy cow, he's working it.
Well, this series does allow lucky dogs. They have the DSD lucky dog. I don't think anyone got one under the first 2 cautions of a race because they happened so early. No one had gone the lap down.
Well, the battle for the lucky dog that's actually a battle right there. Ted Emmenheiser, Stephen Witten, and Aaron Kleinhans there, Sam. That is actually a battle for position and a battle for the lucky dog if we do get a caution in that pack there.
One of 2 packs around the speedway right now. We'll keep an eye on this one. Brian Jarzik and Robert Barney are now also in the pack, running side by side, coming out of turn 4.
Yeah, Ty Hester pitted much later than what Brian Jarzik and Robert Barney did, so we'll see how this all fans out. Ty Hester still trying to get a little help from Jeffrey Belton in the 67 car on the outside lane. This is battle for positions here, not for the lead. 2 cars right now have a 15-second or almost a 16-second advantage over the third place car, Michael Krobach, and that's Brody Hayes and Nick Cohan.
And Michael Krobach comes into the pits from 3rd place.
By himself. Oh boy, start playing the Mr. Lonely song. I mean, you do not want to come down pit road at Talladega under green flag by yourself. I don't know what the problem is on Michael Krobach. No drafting partners, just had to pit. I'm not entirely sure, but that's tough right there.
And of course we saw that he might have had a bit of damage earlier, and here we come, we see the leaders coming in now, Brody Hayes and Nick Cohan, 1 lap later. But yeah, Krobach's got a bit of a gamble here, because when he comes out on the racetrack, he's got a 50-50 chance really of hooking up with a pack or not.
Yeah, definitely. He was sitting in 3rd place when he came in. And if he would have stayed out, he would have been the race leader, because next time by would have been Brody Hayes and Nick Cohan. And they were about 17 seconds behind these guys. So, I don't know, maybe some strategy call. And wow, Brody Hayes spinning his tires, exiting his pits. But him and Nick Cohan should get out pit road together here and start drafting once again.
The 2 Whitsons now lead the field around the course as a couple other leaders come down into the pits. Bryce Whitson is leading Gary Whitson on course. The problem is there's about 10 car lengths between them. They are running without any drafting help, although Bryce Whitson is catching Todd Kirkwood's draft down the back straight here. And that's going to hurt their speed, so hopefully for them they'll come into the pits this time around. Boy, look at Gary Whitson, the run he's got on Bryce. Maybe Bryce is actually falling back intentionally for him to get a bit of help. I think Bryce might be out of fuel.
He might be out of fuel. You might be right there, Sam, because he was much slower than Gary Whitson. Gary Whitson goes head on in the pit road. Hopefully he did not speed, but let's see. He's 59. You know, he may not be out of fuel because he'll be losing more speed on pit road than that.
Yeah, so this is Brian Jarzik back out in front with Robert Barney behind. Josh Tanner and Ty Hester running side by side for 3rd. Jeffrey Belton 5th. Josh Jones 6th. And Will Warsler rounds out a 7-car pack. We have lead in the field.
Right here, this has been some pretty good battles going on. Ty Hester is just trying to get that outside lane working. Not at the moment right now. He's going to fall in behind that red car. They're trying to make out the car number. But wow, yeah, what some cycles going on here. It's making my head spin here, Sam. It's like different strategies are going on. There's more than 2 strategies that are going on. So this is very interesting.
It'll also be interesting to see how many of these cars can get to the end, because our last caution ended before lap 10. and we're seeing cars pit as late as lap 35, so they must be going about 25 laps on fuel. Well, another 25 laps is around lap 59-60, which is how long this race is.
Boy, Michael Krobach, who was Mr. Lonely on pit road earlier, has found himself a group of guys. I believe he has found Austin Missler, Michael Koenig, and Jeffrey Gilliam. He's in a pack right there, and I believe right behind him is Gary Whitson, so I guess it's working out okay for Michael Krobach.
You know, I think I'm beginning to work out why Bryce Whitson ran his car out of gas, Tanner. Do you think him and Gary, the last two to pit, might be the only two cars that can make it to the end on fuel if we don't have another caution?
It might be. I mean, I'm not entirely sure. Only Bryce and Gary would know that for sure. But right now, Bryce is a little bit too far behind from that pack, especially with him being by himself. He's trying to do everything he can to catch Gary at the moment, but it's not really working. Oh, he's catching him a little bit, but wow, he's getting a really big run. Holy cow.
Yeah, that's good, because the other option you have, if you're not able to catch a pack in front of you, is drop back about 2 or 3 seconds to the next car behind you. The problem is for Bryce Whitson, the next car behind him is actually just coming through the tri-oval right now while he's coming out of turn 2.
And that's Todd Kirkwood, who's the last car on the lead lap. Jamie Moore would get the lucky dog if we do have a caution. He is currently 2 laps down. So that's some strange events unfolding right there. But yeah, I'm wondering what this strategy is between the Whitsons right now here, Gary. Or Sam, excuse me.
I'm sorry, Robert Barney.
Uh-oh.
The lead pack and Josh Tanner stops on the track, and that brings the caution out. That was in our lead pack. As they were going by, they were putting Todd Kirkwood a lap down. Robert Barney looked a little bit squiggly out of turn 2. I didn't think anything of it. But him and Josh Tanner somehow got involved in something here. No major damage. What the heck happened there? You can see how I thought nothing of it. He just slid out of line, but then he just came back right down in line and hit Josh.
Well, let's take a look at the replay here and diagnose what really happened. As you I've seen on my screen, Robert Barney drifting up the racetrack. I'm not entirely sure. Comes right back down. Oh, just nailed the 84 car. That's, wow. I'm not sure. Maybe the only thing I could come up with is something hardware-related issue. Maybe something with the steering wheel, or maybe a black screen. You can't see anything. I'm not entirely sure.
Well, whatever it did, whatever caused it, it's just taken all the strategy out of this race, Tanner, because everyone's going to pit.
Yeah, if I was these guys right now, you take 4 fresh tires, and if you come out towards the front, you better act like you stole that, because right now I believe we're getting to the point of the race where it's go time.
Let me rephrase that. Everyone's going to pit, except perhaps maybe not the Whitson cousins.
That would be some good strategy. Yeah, I don't know how the tires are wearing. I'm going to have to ask one of the drivers during the driver's interview at the race to see how the tires are wearing here at Talladega. But if they're not bad, that would not be a bad strategy call for the Whitsons.
And you see them actually catching up with the pack here, and indeed they stay out on track. So let's see how far that moves them up the order. Meanwhile, it looks like Todd Kirkwood, who just went a lap down right as the caution was happening in front of him, really, gets the DSD lucky dog. So Todd Kirkwood will get back on the lead lap, and Brody Hayes will actually lead the field back to green. You remember how we saw that 7-car pack leading the field around after all the pit stops? 8th and 9th place car were Brody Hayes and Nick Cohan. They were working together as a tandem, so they chose to stay out.
Looks like the Whitsons are staying out also, and they are going to be running in the 5th and 6th position. So that gamble might be paying off for them guys, because now they are up in front. They don't have the race lead, but I'm sure once we go back green, they can work towards on getting the race lead, because we're getting towards the end of the race now here, Sam.
Yeah, it looks like we had about 8 or 9 cars stay out, and Brody Hayes and Nick Cohan are going to be the ones leading them back to the green. We just had the long green flag stint, Tanner. Do you think we'll see another one to the end?
Well, I'm counting on a caution. I'm counting on the big one happening, Sam. The reason why is because we're getting down towards the end of the race, and most of these guys are good on fuel, and I think they're going to race it to the end. So these guys are going to start getting a little more aggressive than usual, and some drivers might make a mistake, and it's going to turn out to be a big one. That's just what I'm predicting, but who knows? They might come away clean, and we might have a side-by-side finish.
Hopefully, see a couple other cars coming into the pits here, but I believe
Robert Barney again.
Yeah,
down pit road.
The lap down machines. Robert Barney obviously had that hit that brought out this caution. Maybe he's coming in to get some repairs.
Probably. That's probably the only reason why I would think he would come down pit road. And that's probably a really good idea to do so. Take advantage of this caution, because usually as a driver and you don't got damage and you've been running great all race long, it's frustrating because you got a pace lap around Talladega. But for the pit crew guys, man, it's you want all the time in the world. So right now he's on pit road. He's taking the left sides went up first, so he put the left sides on. As right now he's staying in his pit box, repairing some damage, and he should be on his way.
Brody Hayes and Nick Cohan will lead the field back to green when we go back. Green flag racing here at Talladega Super Speedway. But we're also going to be keeping an eye on the driver restarting in third place, Jeffrey Gilliam. And I was about to take us to break, but I'm not going to, because Aaron Cleanhans has taken a toe into the pits. He was just down in the grass in the turns 1 and 2 area. Not entirely sure why, he just drove over there.
Oh no, I'm not sure what is going on. Usually when someone takes a ride in the grass under caution flag, usually it kind of means something is going on technical wise on their end, like a hardware issue or something. That's the only reason I can come up with. I'm sure there's probably some kind of reason out there, but I mean, as a guessing guy, I mean, that's probably the only reason I can come up with at the moment.
Yeah, and it looks like indeed that's what it might have been, a hardware issue. It had all the looks of that right there. But yeah, I'm going to be keeping an eye on Jeffrey Gilliam on this restart here, Tanner, for the rest of the race really, because he's 12th in the points. And if he really gets a strong finish here tonight, he could break his way into the top 10 in points for the pursuit of the pedals at the end of the season.
He definitely can, and I like racing with Jeffrey Gilliam. I've raced with him before, not at the Super Speedway, but I recall racing with him at Texas Motor Speedway a few weeks back, and he's a really clean racer. He's really respectful on the racetrack, and I know he's really fast too, so I know he can win races. So right now he's in the 3rd position. He's in a good spot, so hopefully he can come away with the win tonight, man. Go Jeffrey.
So, the lights have gone off and Aaron Cleanhans has lost his internet connection. So that would explain perhaps a little bit what was going on there. Indeed, it seems like he could hold his own up on that high line, but when it came to the grassy lane, he wasn't doing too well. The lights off on the pace car and they will be going back to green with 17 laps left to go at the end of this lap.
Yeah, definitely, and this is all I'm hearing in my head is tick, 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 and that tick gets louder the more you get to the end of the race here, especially at Talladega. These guys are going to be all over the place. They're going to be 3 wide. Oh boy, this is going to be some exciting racing. Hopefully they can all hold it, because I'm ready to see an exciting finish.
And the amazing thing about this race, even with 3 cautions for pretty heavy wrecks, only 2 retirements, Milt Matisse and Aaron Cleanhans, and Aaron could still come back into the race, albeit a couple of laps down. Brody Hayes is about to lead the field back to green. He has been working with Nick Cohan, the driver restarting to his outside. Can Cohan get in front of Gilliam and work with him again, or will Gilliam get a good restart and try and work with Brody Hayes? We know Gilliam needs a really good finish here if he wants to break into the top 10 in points heading into the final race before the pursuit at Charlotte. Ford Mustang pace car makes a hard left turn. We're about to restart here, Tanner.
We are about to hear restart. They're going through the crazy trioval, as I like to call it, of Talladega. Brody Hayes, Nick Cohan, Jeffrey Gilliam, Austin Missler, Gary Whitson, green flag. We are back racing at Talladega. As Brody Hayes looks like he wants to jump up towards the outside lane or allow Nick Cohan to get it towards the inside. That does happen. But another problem I'm seeing in the mid pack here, Sam, is Brian Yazik. He does not have his drafting partner or his wingman that he has all race long, and that was Robert Barney. He is sitting in the 12th position, no wingman, so right now he's trying to get some draft off of Ty Hester, as we might have a battle for the lead.
We do have a battle for the lead, because although Hayes and Cohan were working together, as soon as the green came out, they ran away too far, and now Austin Missler and Bryce Whitson have ate them up and gone out front. So Missler leading Bryce around and goes downstairs, abandons him. So Missler now leads Hayes on the inside, and Bryce Whitson leads Josh Jones on the outside.
Looked like Bryce Whitson drifted up the track just a little bit, and Austin, and wow, that was a little bobbing and weaving from Ty Hester, but Austin Missler had to drop down low. He felt like he was going to get past or put in the sucker hole, so he had to do what he had to do. Gary Whitson trying to get, not Gary, that's Bryce Whitson, trying to get to the inside behind the number 21 of Nick Cohan, as Josh Jones and the number 40 is trying to make some noise. We got another battle for the lead. Brody Hayes and Nick Cohan sticking well together. They're going for the lead down the backstretch.
And once again, that leads Bryce and Austin Missler to hook up, so maybe they were never meant to get broke up. But Nick Cohan and Brody Hayes, who are working together, have found it back up front. Josh Jones now leads the high side with Will Warsler behind him.
Josh Jones trying to challenge for the lead. That is Will Warsler right behind him. And right behind those guys on the outside lane comes Ty Hester and Brian Yazik. Those two drivers have hooked up. So maybe those two guys can get towards the front as they are working towards it right now. Will Warsler drift up the track just a little bit. You do not want to leave that much opening because they can just steal it from you. Right now, Will Warsler trying to push Josh Jones down the backstretch. Nick Cohan pushing Brody Hayes side by side for the lead on the backstretch.
First driver who doesn't have a partner. He restarted in third. He's now back to ninth and not being pushed by anyone. And that is Jeffrey Gilliam. So he's lost 6 spots in the space of 2 laps. That is the effect of not really having a partner here around the high banks of Talladega Superspeedway. Meanwhile, battle for the lead continues. Josh Jones has got a good round on the outside of Brody Hayes. Coming through that funny-shaped trioval, that's 3 wide.
Yeah, left a little bit of opening in that middle. That allowed Ty Hester to try to squeeze in there, but Ty knew better to back off because he didn't want to clip his left rear quarter panel. So that's some good racing right there between those two drivers.
Meanwhile, a note from Michael Krobach that the number 20 car is having a bit of connection issues. That's Jamie Moore. We've seen that earlier in the race. It might be affecting the back of the pack right now. Meanwhile, this battle continues up front with Josh Jones on the high side, Brody Hayes on the inside, and once again, Will Warsler sticks his nose out there. He doesn't want to do that too much, but he has to do it to keep his radiator cool.
Oh yeah, definitely. And right now, it's pretty much try to push all you can without blowing the engine, and that's what these guys are trying to do. Jeffrey Belt, meanwhile, looking towards the outside lane, looking for a 3-wide situation. It does. I'm trying to make out who's trying to give him the assistance to do it. Travis McQuestion?
Stephen
Wetton.
Oh,
Man, Robert Barney in the middle there, trying to squeeze it in there. Robert Barney's back on the track.
Yeah, Stephen Wetton who's helping that. Meanwhile, Josh Jones running in second place is blinking in and out. That could be a problem.
Oh yeah, you do not want to be blinking here at Talladega whatsoever. But man, if Will Warsler keeps opening up that middle groove, man, Ty's going to end up snatching it, and Ty's been backing off, and it's checking up the outside lane pretty good. You just want to try to keep your line as straight as possible without drifting up, because everybody's going to try to peek their nose and try to fit it in there.
Earlier this season, Ty Hester, a bit of a... Oh, boy, they're just...
Oh, no.
They're all over, yeah.
Yeah, it's getting crazy from my vantage point here. I'm on the blimp view camera, and just looking at the blimp view, they're left, right, just trying to hold their line.
Jeffrey Belt! I was about to mention him. Jeffrey Belt was falling back there, and I kind of liked it. He was getting out of the crazy stuff, but then he almost caused a bunch of crazy stuff.
Travis McQuestion got a little loose entering the corner. Oh, the 73 car on the high side, that's Jonathan Holstein. Wow. guy got a little loose and almost hit the wall. Wow, these guys are really dancing.
Josh Jones, meanwhile, has dropped back a couple car lengths. Brody Hayes will lead this time by, although Jones does have a run. He's coming back up to the front now. No drafting help, though. Will Warsler's dropped back a little bit. If I'm Josh Jones, I'm not too happy about what Will Warsler is doing behind me right now.
Yeah, but I mean, right now, that's all you can do right now. I mean, you're stuck on the outside lane. That's all you got for a person to push at the moment. So, I mean, you're just going to have to rely on that driver to try to get you towards the lead.
Travis McQueestrom was down on the apron. That's going to cost the inside line a couple of car lengths. And I'm not saying Will Warsler's doing anything wrong. Maybe he does have an overheating engine, and in fact, he just pushed Josh Jones back to the lead, so he's doing something right. But he does seem to be opening up that middle groove a little bit.
A lot of these guys are dancing back and forth. Michael Krobach trying to pick his way through the field on the outside lane. Meanwhile, Josh Jones trying to get the lead away from Brody Hayes once again. As he is challenging, he will beat Brody Hayes to the line that time by. As, they're dicing in the middle. Jeffrey Belt in the middle. A lot of dancing cars in the backfield. That's Jeffrey Belt in the middle. That was McQueestron on the bottom.
Oh, and Robert Barney all the way behind them. These are drivers we've seen up front tonight. They're in the lead pack, only a couple of seconds behind the leader, but they're around 20th place.
Josh Jones! Josh Jones gets turned! Oh no! And the big one has commenced at Talladega.
Stephen Wetton, Alan Young, Edward Bray, Jonathan Holstein, Ted Emmenheiser, Robert Barney, Josh Tanner. Oh man, Will Warsler was doing good. He was being a good drafter partner. I said he wasn't, and then he was, and then it went south.
As I documented before, Will Warsler leaves that. He usually leaves the middle lane open a lot of the times, but right here, as you can see, he left it open too much. Came back down, clipped the right rear quarter panel of Josh Jones, sending him spinning, and it's calamity. Oh man, Brian Yazek, just an innocent victim in that mess right there. Wow, who was that got through that?
Yeah, it might be easier to mention the drivers who have made it through are Will Warsler, Brody Hayes, Ty Hester, Nick Cohan, Austin Missler, Bryce Whitson, Michael Krobach, Gary Whitson, Lee Staples, and Michael Koenig will lead the field back to green. Everyone else seems to have gotten a little piece of this.
I'm wondering if we can get a request, if I can get a request from our director to have an onboard view of Edward Bray. I'd like to see this. He went underneath Josh Jones, I believe.
Edward Bray, currently 16th. There you see, is that Jamie Moore on the inside?
Oh, that was close. Look at that. Oh, wow. I was looking at a couple drivers dodging that wreck too, and that was what I was reacting to, a couple of other drivers. But yeah, Everett Bray was another one that was really, wow.
That was a big one. Boy, just a whole mess all the way through the turn.
Well, Sam, I guess my prediction was correct. I didn't think we were going to go green to the end. I did say a big one's going to happen. Someone's going to make a mistake, and it just happened right there.
Louis Robinet got a piece of it. He has retired from the race. Right now in the pits, we got Troy Haight and Alex Bates, but they were involved in early incidents. We also have Stephen Wetton, Josh Tanner, Josh Jones, the driver running 8th in the points, getting repairs. Robert Barney, Jeffrey Gilliam, 12th in the points. He was looking to break into the chase. Ted Emmenheiser and Brian Yarzik, all in the pits for repairs.
I'm telling you, some drivers, I could tell that they're upset over that wreck, but we're coming towards the end of the race, and I'm telling you, these drivers, they race so clean around each other. They know each other pretty well, and they just give so much respect to these drivers, and that's what gives these guys some good respect.
And the driver who kind of, you could almost say, helped trigger that incident, Will Warsler, breaks through and is now leading the race.
Yeah, he accidentally got into the right rear. He was drafting really good with Josh Jones, but he got a little too far wide out, as I documented before. And this time he clipped the right rear quarter panel of Josh Jones and sent him spinning. As Louis Robinette and Josh Tanner has now disconnected from the race server. That's very unfortunate for them guys right there. But meanwhile, it's Will Worsler, Brody Hayes, Ty Hester sitting in the third position, Nick Cohan, Austin Missler rounding out the top 5.
Pace car lights are on, but we will get a restart. This caution came out soon enough where we'll be able to get a restart. A caution with 4-5 to go would have ended it. I think we'll get the one to go this time by. We've gave you a rundown of the drivers involved and the drivers who weren't, so we're going to take a quick break here and build up some anticipation, as they may have said in the Rocky Horror Show, for this final green flag run. Hopefully it'll go green to the end, but we won't be surprised if it don't. It's going to get dicey here in the closing laps at Talladega Superspeedway. Fourth caution of the day, and it was the big one, or maybe was it the first big one? Let's hope not, but we still have 5 laps left of racing here, Tanner. Anything can happen. Will Worsler's about to lead and back to the green.
Yeah, definitely. If you ask me right now, if I had to pick between these drivers that are right now double filed, ready to go, sorry, I'm not picking a winner because who knows? Let's see, Robert Barney, he's in the back of the pack here. He could win this race for all we know. I mean, even though he's in the back of the pack right here, technically he's 2 laps down. That's probably not the right driver. Jeffrey Gilliam, another driver, he could probably walk away with the win. I just don't know. So we'll just have to see when they take the green flag on how all this is going to unfold.
Jonathan Holstein running in 9th place. He's a driver. We haven't mentioned him a lot tonight. I feel he's worth a mention because he's sitting 10th in the points. He's a driver with a lot to lose. And meanwhile, here comes the field. And there goes the pace car. Will Worsler has control of the field. Brody Hayes to his outside. 5 laps left to go as the green flag goes back out in the air. And he's second now. It hasn't gone out there. Now it goes. And here they come. A great restart by Brody Hayes.
Oh, boy. Brody Hayes and Nick Cohen. They were working together. They're trying to get hooked up. But what a great restart by Brody Hayes. Now it's up to Ty Hester on that inside road to try to get the good push. Yeah, it's right now he's trying, and they're side by side for the race lead.
This is key. I mean, if a caution comes out right now, the drive in front will win it.
They're hitting each other in the back. That's Jeffrey Bell. Oh, man, they're really hitting each other back here. I'm watching them right now, and they're really hitting each other.
Yeah, Brody Hayes is liking the sound of that. He wants the caution to come out right now because he has the whole car length in front of the other cars. Unfortunately for Hayes, unfortunately for us, the drivers at the back have straightened it out. Will Worsley is the driver battling Hayes on the inside. We have 5 cars leading the field around, but not too far back till you get to that second pack.
Remember when we said anything can happen? Look at Michael Krobach trying to get that inside row in the back there working. He was by himself on pit road a little while ago. And whoa, easy there, Bryce. Oh, boy. That was scary right there. I thought he was going to come down and clip the right rear of Ty Hester. Good thing that did not happen. He's staying on the outside lane.
Here's the second pack. Look, Austin Mislev's led the second pack up to him, but then he got out of line too early. And now Gary Whitson and Travis McQueeston are the ones right behind Bryce.
Oh boy, they're really checking up and hitting each other now. But Michael Krobach has now caught up to the back bumper by Hester. Oh wow, what some squeeze and move by Michael Krobach.
Well, the second pack has caught the lead pack, but they've got nowhere to go. The 2 best lines on the circuit are being taken up by these 2 tandems. Nick Cohan goes defensive.
Yeah, I mean, Michael Krobach got shuffled up there now. Bryce went back down behind Cohan, and that's going to throw Michael Krobach off guard. Right now, Bryce Whitson trying to do a 3-car tandem. Ain't working out too good, as now they're all fanned out right there. They're beating, trading paint, beating and banging. Oh, boy.
But when Nick Cohan went defensive, that actually cost him and Brody Hayes some time. However, they were able to work up and pass Ty Hester and Will Worsley again. Again, all out of shape in turns 3 and 4. 2 to go when they come to the line.
If anybody thinks they're not done hitting each other's doors right now, they're still dancing. They're still trying to do the 3-car tandem, and it ain't working out too good. But so far, that outside lane is pushing. Ty Hester trying to get on the back bumper of Will Worsler. I believe 2 laps to go here. Oh boy! Now. At least Staples entering the picture, trying to get Ty Hester's draft on the inside.
Oh, what story that would be if Staples could get his nose out from here.
Boy.
But right now, they've got to get by Hayes and Worsler. Those 2 aren't giving it up.
I am not liking these guys dancing left and right. They're doing side drafting. They're doing 3-car tandem. Every time Bryce gets that back bumper of Cohan, he's back. Oh, no! Oh, he blew an engine! Oh, no! He blew his engine!
Green.
Stay green! Oh, no! Whacked him off the racetrack!
He's on the apron. If he gets on the apron, it won't bring out a caution. If they can get to the final lap, if they can get to the start-finish line, it won't bring out a caution.
White flag!
To the checkered.
We're racing. All right, Ty Hester, no drafting help on the high side of the racetrack, trying to do a little side draft. Bryce Whitson, depending who he's going to go with, he's going to go with Ty Hester. Oh, no, he's going to dump Ty Hester towards the middle. He's got Gary Whitson right behind him. They're wrecking.
Ty Hester, birthday. Oh, and Will Worsler wrecks in a separate incident. Brody Hayes goes out to the front, but Travis McQueeston goes to the outside of him. Travis McQueeston is leading this race. He was 7th at the white flag.
Anything can happen.
That was
3 wide. Oh, no, Jeffrey Gilliam wants to play. He wants to go 3 wide. Oh, man.
Yeah,
that's Alan Young. Excuse me. I'm just so excited. Oh, no!
He makes contact with McQueeston. Brody Hayes has the track all to himself now.
No,
Brody Hayes
what a race. What a finish. Travis McQueeston almost got it.
Wow, man, Travis did everything he could do, but Brody Hayes did excellent there. We're going to have to watch that final lap again because Will Worsler was involved in the second wreck and we didn't see the cause of it.
And I was getting my names all mixed up because I was so excited. Oh, man, Alan Young, that was not Jeffrey Gilliam. I apologize, Jeffrey Gilliam there. But, here is the replay of everything. Oh, yeah, my goodness.
What happens to Will Worsley? He's the second car there, and they just get stacked up by Brody Hayes, and he gets turned. And that's Travis McQueeston now arriving in second place behind Brody Hayes there. And then we saw the race between them to the end.
Well, definitely everybody was dancing back for it, doing everything they can to get a position, man, and wow.
Then Jeffrey Gilliam, his connection was in and out. I'm sorry, that was Alan Young. Alan Young, you said Jeffrey Gilliam, getting confused himself now. Alan Young actually finished 4th behind Gary Whitson. Not entirely sure how that happened. Probably happened when he got knocked here. Yeah, so Gary Whitson took 3rd place because of that.
See, it looks like Lee Staples clipped the left rear of Will Worsler. Wow, there's Jeffrey Gilliam right there. Oh, hard hit towards the inside wall. Good thing they got safer barriers there. Just looks like Ty Hester did everything he could to try to defend his position. Went up high just a little bit and got his right rear core panel clipped. And I believe that wrecked both the Whitson boys.
And Gary Whitson still comes back with a third. Top 2 cars wrecked. See, the key to winning tonight wasn't to not wreck. It was to not wreck until after you had finished the race. And that is what got Brody Hayes the victory here today. And we will be able to speak to him and give you a full race rundown. And boy, I'm taking a glance at the full race rundown right now. It's a bit jumbled up. We'll be back here on the GSRC. Tanner?
Yeah, it wasn't like how it was about a lap or two ago, so definitely there, Sam.
Alright, well, we'll be back with a full race rundown and drive interviews here on the Global Sim Racing channel. Hello and welcome back to Talladega Super Speedway after a quick break, and yes, it was so quick we're still not quite sure entirely we've documented everything that happened on the final lap, but we know this much. Brody Hayes won the race after tangling with Travis McQuistron right at the line. 600ths of a second there, you see, was the interval across the line. Gary Whitson was involved in the wreck on the backstretch, but was able to keep his car pointing straight, and he took third place from Alan Young in the trioval at the end of the race. After Alan Young made contact with Travis McQuistron and went sliding through the grass, he came and finished fourth place. Jeffrey Belt's car was all wadded up too. He finished fifth, as was Todd Kirkwood, Edward Bray in sixth and seventh places there. And then behind them we got Austin Mislet in 8th place, and now you get to drivers who were involved heavily in the wreck on the backstretch. Will Warsler and Ty Hester crossed the line 20 seconds after the leader did.
Yeah, and outside the top 10, you have Bryce Whitson finishing 11th tonight. Jeffrey Gilliam finishes 12th. Lee Staples 13th. Michael Krobach will come home 14th. Michael Kunik 15th. Jonathan Holstein finishes 16th. And now these drivers are a lap down or more, and that's Nick Cohan finishing 17th. Robert Barney 18th. Jamie Moore in 19th. And rounding out the top 20 is Norm Pelletier.
Yeah, these are drivers who were only 2 laps down. Now we get to drivers much further down the order. Chris Jim was 3 laps down. Brian Jarzik 6 laps down. Ted Emmenheiser 9, and then the rest are 10 laps or worse. Josh Jones, that'll hurt him in the points. Stephen Wetton, unfortunate, he was having a good race up there tonight, as was Josh Chandler, Louis Rabina. These were all drivers who were involved in the first big one we had. Aaron Kleinhans 28th, that's some kind of hardware issue. Tim Knott and Milt Matisse round out the top 30. Mark Myers, Alex Bates and Troy Haight round out the field. Now we've got some drivers ready for interview here. We actually have a lot of drivers, but let's go to our protocol and start with our third place finisher, Gary Whitson. And so let's bring Gary in here. Gary, that was a wild final lap. When you got involved in the fender banning on the back straight there, did you have any idea that you would be walking out of here with a third place finish?
No, I mean, as you guys know, you get caught up in the big one at these plate tracks and you just hope to come out the other end. I just kept my foot in it and the seas parted, and luckily Alan Young, something happened to him in the trioval and ended up with the podium.
Absolutely. Now, Gary, I'm actually going to give you the M-Spec Hard Charge of a Race Award here, because you started in 26th place and you worked your way up to the front with a bit of strategy. It looked like you and your cousin Bryce were the last 2 cars to pit under that under the mid-race green flag set of pit stops. Had we gone green to the end, would have you and Bryce been able to make it to the end?
Yeah, it would have been close. We stretched that prior run. I think we could have made it. We probably would have run out on the last lap or had to have gotten really conservative. We just knew with this draft package we didn't want to be up in the pack because we figured it would be a little wild. So we decided to hang in the back, and the way those first 10 laps ran out, it put us right on the edge of our window. So we decided to try to make it work, and luckily we got a couple cautions there at the end and we didn't have to try it.
Well, we've actually got a lot of drivers lined up for interview here, Gary, so we're going to make this short and sweet. But looking at the points right now, you're 9th in the points entering this race. Obviously, the third place finish is going to help you heading into Charlotte in 4 weeks' time. What do you think your odds are once you get to the pursuit for the pedals at the end of the season? What do you think your odds are for taking home this championship?
Well, I think tonight we finally locked ourselves into the pursuit for the pedals, so the old HPP Chevy should be running for the championship. Obviously, it's 4 races. I think we got a road course in there and maybe another wild card, so it's just going to be survival. The one guy of the 10 that survives is going to be taking home them pretty pedals, and hopefully it's us. We'll just have to do the best we can to finish them all.
Well, thanks for coming out to talk to us, Gary. We look forward to seeing you back in the top 3 very soon.
All right, thanks, guys.
So that was our third place finisher, Gary Whitson. Let's go one step higher up per podium. Travis McQuistron is in second, and he is called up with Tanner Sharp.
Trying to catch up with Travis McQueeston here as I finally caught up to him. And Travis, man, what a run here tonight at Talladega, and what a wild race, especially from the broadcast booth and a race fan standpoint. And pretty much a wild race from the cockpit view of your seat. Take us through the about the final couple laps of that race. Man, that was just some wild race.
Yeah, it really was. I was just running there about 12th actually before everything kind of broke loose, and once I saw everything break loose, I just kind of ducked low and everything was out of my way, and all I saw was the 37 kind of slow because he had no help, and I'm like, oh man, I have a chance here. And then got there into turn 3 and 4 and ran him next to him. I thought Alan was going to stay with me, but then he went back low and then bounced off the door, and it was just madness.
Oh yeah, definitely. And there was just guys just trying to fit their nose in to see if they can make it work, and it was just crazy from there. But I'm telling you, it just seems like some guys were dancing around all over the place tonight. And one thing I have to ask you is the tire wear. Was there a significant tire wear tonight since it was cooler temperatures?
For me, I only took right sides on the first pit stop, so after that I had no new tires. And by the end of the race, I was skidding around pretty good. Really, it handled okay, and then all of a sudden there, about 10 laps ago, it was getting pretty skiddy for me.
Yeah, usually the tire wear here at Talladega, sometimes on eggs, the drivers will start washing up the racetrack at no fault of their own. It's just the tires are going. But man, I tell you what, if right now you finished second tonight and you're only one position ahead behind from making the pursuit of the pedals, man. Are you this one final race that's coming up? You think you can try to get her done and get in that top 10?
I'm certainly going to give it a try. Had a pretty rough year, actually. I had a lot of positions at the beginning of the year that just were not where I was running, and so pretty proud of the whole ATR group that we have here. And I mean, I've learned so much from them, and I'm hoping to put all that together and run good next time we go out there at the Grand National cars.
Yeah, and our next race in this series is 4 weeks at Charlotte Motor Speedway, which will be the final race to make the pursuit. So thank you for coming to talk with us here tonight, there, Travis, and congratulations on your second place finish.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having us.
Back to you, Sam.
Yeah, that was Travis's first top 5 finish of the season, and it was less than 1/10 of a second off of being a race victory. Let's speak to the driver who did get that race victory, and that was Brody Hayes. I've caught up with him here in Victory Lane. Brody, you, Gary Whitson, and Alan Young all gained 23 spots this race. When you were all starting at the back of the field there, were you thinking about the win as soon as the green flag flew?
Yeah, starting in the back was the plan. Me and Nick wanted to play it safe based off of what we saw in practice there. So we decided to start in the back, let everything calm down up front, and then we'd make our move towards the end. So I definitely thought a win was possible. It just all had to play out how we thought it was going to.
Now, talk us through coming out of a triover on the final lap there, because Travis McQueeston was looking in every direction there was to pass you, and you were defending every position, and eventually you wrecked, but it just didn't happen until after the finish line.
I knew he was looking everywhere. To tell you what, that last lap was just chaotic. I didn't know which way to go. I saw them coming. They were coming from every which direction, so I just tried to hold my line at the end and just wish for the best. And luckily, we were able to, side draft off him a little bit. And just coming out of that tri-oval, I got loose when he went to the bottom, and then he came back up to the top and got more loose, and we just ended up sideways crashing and ended up with the victory. So, I mean, it was a lot of fun, though. I have no regrets with how it ended.
Absolutely not, because as you mentioned, you came home with a victory, leading the point center in this race. This is your 4th win of the season. Obviously, you're locked in for the pursuit of the pedals at the end of the season. Do you think you can get a 5th victory at Charlotte in 4 weeks' time?
Love the 1.5-mile track, so definitely, we'll just see what we can do here before the chase starts. The victories definitely help add those bonus points, so, we'll go into next week looking for another W.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for putting on a fantastic show tonight, Brody. I say it was probably the most chaotic final lap we've ever seen on the Global Sim Racing channel. But one thing I wouldn't say it was predictable, but not an unusual sight to see, was your car out front when it was all said and done. Congratulations on that win.
Yep, thank you. I just want to give a quick shout out to Nick for pushing me there those last couple restarts and staying behind me. You know, he had the strategy call, so big thanks to him. Definitely couldn't have done it without him.
Yeah, unfortunately for Nick Cohan, his race came to an unfortunate end, and Tanner has called up with him to talk more about it.
Nick Cohan, tonight you finished in the 17th position, and holy cow, I believe we lost Nick Cohan. As he is talking to his pit crew here. Sorry there, Nick. I didn't want to interrupt with you and your pit crew here, but tonight you finished in the 17th position, and it looks like you were pretty well committed to your wingman, Brody Hayes there. Take us a little walkthrough on the driver's perspective on what happened in the final laps of Nick Cohan.
It's just amazing how the whole plan worked out the way we wanted to there. Staying out in that last stop. You know, we were close on fuel, but we figured we'd have enough. And we got lucky to line up 1-2, and the initial start there, we got a good start, but I knew if I didn't get past the 6, it was going to be a real fight, and it sure was. I was just waiting for the first person to blow up there, and I was hoping it wasn't me, but it was me, and most everybody got around me, but it was good it ended under green there. We still had a good run to the finish.
Yeah, definitely, and it just seemed like everything just got chaotic towards the end of the race there. Now, in 4 weeks' time, we are at Charlotte Motor Speedway, the final race to the pursuit of the pedals, and it's a 1.5 mile racetracks. Do the 1.5 mile racetracks favor you in your favor?
Oh, I think so. Tonight was definitely, to help Brody as much as I could, and I stuck to his bumper. I was glued to it the whole race, and I got Equigrain burned into my eyes right now from looking at it the whole race. But Charlotte would be a little different story. We'll be going for the win since we're not in the chase. We're just here for the wins and having fun and helping teammates as much as possible. So Charlotte hasn't really been good to me, but I like those type of tracks. So we'll see what we can do. And plus, I really like the Xfinity cars. They're a lot of fun to drive, and really, I'm looking forward to running these again.
Yeah, definitely. I always recall you as a short track kind of guy, because I'm always seeing you up front, at least top 5 at a short track. But before we let you go, Nick, is there anything you would like to add before we let you go?
No, I just want to thank Steel Horse Racing for the engines, and CJ Automotive, K&N, and a big congratulations to Brody on his 4th win in Xfinity and 31st win for Disney Motorsports. So that's kind of cool.
All right, well, thank you for taking the time to come talk with us, Nick. As that, was Nick Cohan, who finishes 17th tonight here at Talladega. And Sam, I believe you are trying to catch up with Alan Young.
Yes, I've caught up with our 4th place finisher here, Alan Young, but he was almost 3rd place, perhaps even almost 2nd place, perhaps even almost a win. Alan, how do you feel after that slide through the grass on the final lap?
I feel good. I was nervous about hitting pit road, so I just kind of threw it in reverse and watched where the cone was. I just made the wrong move at the end there and ended up taking the slide. Maybe had a shot at the win. I don't know.
Well, fortunately, you avoided most of the carnage here tonight, and that's going to put you into a solid position going into Charlotte as far as points are concerned. It looks like you've solidified a spot in pursuit. And I'll tell you, you were up front there, running towards the front for most of the race, but we really didn't see you battling for the lead until all that carnage broke out at the end.
Yeah, me and my teammates, John, Edward, and Lee over at LA Sim Sport, we kind of worked the plan to just kind of ride and just take our time and just see where things lit up and let the wrecks happen. And then about probably 10 to go or 15 to go, we said it was go time, and we kind of just went to the front.
Would have you done anything different on that final lap, knowing how things played out in the end?
I probably went to the outside of Brody and Travis instead of going to the bottom, but I made the wrong move, and I mean, I'll get out of there with a 4th and take it and move on to the chase, which I'm very happy. I mean, new team, and make the chase first time out with them is impressive in my take.
Absolutely, and that new team has got you, or rather, you've got that new team 2 top 5 finishers this season. Do you think you can make it a 3rd in 4 weeks' time at Charlotte? Do you think you could be challenging for the win there?
I think I can. It all depends on how I'm feeling and how the car goes. I mean, I've had pretty good runs at Charlotte, so I guess it just depends on the setup.
Alright, well, thanks for coming to talk to us, Alan, and congratulations on the top 5 finish here at Talladega Super Speedway.
Thank you.
Well, Tanner, that was a wild race, and I think that's usually what we expect when we come to Talladega.
Yeah, definitely. There are some drivers who are finally happy to leave Talladega, and there are some drivers that are like, oh, let's race Talladega again. But yeah, although we'll move on to our next race in 4 weeks' time at the Charlotte Motor Speedway, that track always produces some great racing. Home of the Coca-Cola 600, home of the Bank America 500, and of course, home of the All-Star race there. So looking forward to some great racing from these guys at Charlotte when the time comes.
But you can see these guys in action next week. They will be racing the trucks at Kansas Speedway. Same time, same place, Global Sim Racing Channel, 9 p.m. Eastern Time on Wednesday night. We'll be here. We hope you will too. And we would like to thank you for coming out and watching this broadcast tonight, as well as the organisers and the competitors in the iROC HPP Simulation Grand National Series for coming here tonight and putting on a great show. We would also like to thank the makers of the various software and hardware that you see on your screen. Thanks to the team today, Tanner Sharp, Joe Peak, and our camera guru, Dougie Beard. If you'd like to find out more about GSRC, you can find it at globalsimracingchannel.com, along with archived races and upcoming broadcasts. We're also on Twitter at GSR Channel and Facebook at facebook.com/globalsimracingchannel. A special thanks also goes out to Eric Ekholm and Casey Lalonde, who provide us with our music. You can buy Eric's on iTunes and Spotify, and Casey's at caseylalonde.bandcamp.com. All of our upcoming races for our other series on screen, so be sure to check those out, mark them down on your calendar, and don't miss another second of exciting racing action. Happy birthday, Ty Hester, 10th place finish here today, but until next time, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you all on the track.